the superstar, the biggest name in billiards, Efren Reyes, versus this man, an up-and-comer, Ronnie Alcano, 34 years old. This is how he got here. He lost his first 2 matches, only won 1 against Martins, but still got in due to the mathematics involved. Then in the last 64, he murdered Gomez 10-1, Bob.
And Efren Reyes, well, nobody is surprised that he's here. That world rank of 34, I think that's in need of some adjustment, don't you think, Jerry?
Well, it shows that the world rankings depend on you playing in certain events that Efren did not play in, because he's certainly higher than that. He's already taken down Orcolio in the last 64, so let's see how the lag turns out.
And this is just the perfect nightcap for what has been an amazing day of pool, Jerry. All sorts of drama on almost every table. And this, if that lag is an indication of the kind of match we're going to have, boy, we're going to be having a treat coming up.
Alcano wins the lag.
Well, they've awarded it to Alcano. It couldn't have been more than just a feather of distance. Here's how they got here. Alcano took down Gomez. Efren Reyes defeated Okoye. And on the other side of the board, we've got Kuo Po Chang and Marlon Manalo getting ready to go head-to-head.
We could have another all-Filipino clash in the last 16.
Alcano to break.
Good indeed. Alcano checking out the rack, making sure it's to his satisfaction.
Now, I don't know if you've seen much of Ronnie Alcano, but he is a huge, huge talent. I mean, the shots he was hitting the other day were just phenomenal. And he goes with the soft break, which he was doing yesterday in his round of 64 match to great effect. And now he has a shot, and Jerry, this rack looks pretty makeable.
Yes, it does. He's got a good position here on the 1 ball, and the 2 ball laying right beside it. I think his biggest challenge will be navigating or avoiding the traffic to get to the 3 ball, and after that it's pretty easy pickings.
Ronnie Alcano is a master at the game of rotation, which is a Filipino specialty, and where you use 15 balls and you hit them in order just like 9 ball. And that game is a tough game that teaches you some pretty exotic shots, and Ronnie Alcano very good at using them when he plays 9 ball.
Yeah, Alcano obviously a very, very gifted player, but we have seen some gifted players fall apart when Efren Reyes is in the opposite chair. We'll just have to see how he holds up under that kind of pressure.
He's holding up pretty well here.
Right now he's looking good, isn't he,
yeah.
Bob?
He's a former champion in the San Miguel Asian 9-ball tour. He's also done very well in the States when he was there a couple of years ago. Just completely tore up the Joss Northeast Tour.
Yeah, he owned that tour.
Yeah. And he really is the prototypical Filipino player, because he has such a loose, long, flowing delivery of the ball.
Yeah, beautiful stroke. He's also done well of late in the North American 8-ball tour. No stranger to competition, Alcano.
Yeah, it looks like he wanted to be a bit straighter on the 7-ball, but knowing him, he's just going to wheel around, take the 9 lower right. I mean, Alcano's the kind of player who has the mentality of, why bother using 1 rail when I can use 3 or 4? And I think you're going to see a bit of that later on.
Well, the rails do help you control your speed. You can hit with a firmer stroke. And he draws first blood. Now race to 10. Efren Reyes up next. We are in the alternating break format. Yeah, you know, in the States, we heard a lot about this man before we ever saw him.
And he just strokes so effortlessly, you know. Technically so sound, although he does hold the cue with maybe 1.5 of his fingers.
Yeah. You know, he does have a bit of an advantage over many of his countrymen in that he's so tall, he doesn't have to go to the rest as often.
Coming up, the break of that gentleman, Efren Reyes. And how he'd love to win the very first World Pool Championship played on home soil.
Rack 2.
Yes, he would.
Trading 1 rack to 0.
That pressure was bothering him earlier in the week, but he seems to have settled down now. Still, you know, he knows that there are many people who flat expect him to win this event.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure on your shoulders.
Oh, yeah. And we've seen him struggle with that pressure already in previous matches. But so far, so good. But this is not an ideal situation here, isn't it?
No, Efren's hitting the balls as hard as I've seen him hit them. And that time he lost the cue ball behind the rack. So he'll have to work out a push here. Well, I should not assume that he would, because
push out call.
You never know what Efren's going to do, but he has gone to the push.
Efren with a very well-deserved reputation for making pool commentators look rather foolish at times. Push out is only done after the break. You can put the cue ball wherever you wish, except of course in a pocket. The player coming in, which is Alcano, has the option to shoot this ball or pass it right back to Efren. What do you like about this one?
Well, what I like about it is the one is so tied up to the 6 ball that it doesn't appear that the bank is available. If that 6 weren't there, it'd be a simple bank back into the corner pocket, but I believe he'd have to foul that 6 to try the bank shot. And I'm not sure he can just ease the 1 ball off the rail over the other side of the 6 ball and use it as a blocker. I don't think that angle's there either, Bob.
Well, Ronnie Alcano has a fertile imagination, and you can bet he's working out all the options, and his best option is to take a seat, I guess.
Yeah, he's going to give this one back.
But it's always dangerous to push, to get into a push war against Efren, because he just has all the options in his head. And you can bet that he's thinking of something that a good majority of other players can't conjure up. Oh, double kiss.
Well, an early slip, and that may cost him this rack. Ronnie slices that 1 ball across the table, he could clear this table.
It's going to be awfully difficult for him to get position on. Ronnie better than anybody else in navigating, but this could be a safe, yeah. Oh, did he play that? I don't think he played that, did he?
No, he's laughing, having a little grin with the crowd. He certainly did not intend that.
But he has a shot. Coincidentally, has a shot on the red 3.
That's a tough shot there, Bob.
He's up against the rail too.
And he's got a man sitting in the chair that he doesn't wish to give a layout on the table to. So looks like he's taking it on. Wow.
That better slam on the board. No, that's fine. Well, if it passes the 6, it's okay. So it can slip that into the side pocket. We could be seeing a 2-0 scoreline pretty soon.
Well, there's really much less pressure on Ronnie than there is on Efren. He doesn't have the expectations of the crowd sitting on him.
Yeah, but over here in the Philippines, he is definitely considered to be one of the heirs apparent to Efren's throne.
Whoa, a very uncharacteristic miss. You don't see this man miss the pocket very often. Bob, had that gone in, he had perfect shape on the 5 ball.
These shots are never easy with the 4 hard up against the rail.
Well, the 4-ball is being stubborn. It does not want to leave the arena. And Efren also having a grin with the crowd over that result. He got rather fortunate that 6-ball got in the way.
Boy, he had lots of spin on that white ball.
It sure did.
That took a funny bounce off that other side rail.
My. It's funny how often that cue ball will wind up behind an intervening ball. This ball rather easy to hit, very difficult to make. And the scratch is also possible. Must be careful.
I think he's got it.
Oh! Almost.
Let's fluke the snooker.
Well, both players, oddly enough, are getting pretty good rolls here.
Or pretty bad rolls, depending on your point of view.
Yeah, depending on whether you're shooting or sitting. I have seen this man masse balls like this before.
This looks like a kick.
It sure
he can
does.
make this ball if he's lucky.
Are we going to have another snooker? No. Finally, the 4-ball opened to the cue ball. And this should be the fuel that Ronnie needs to get a 2-game lead on the master. You know, we had looked forward to a match between Efren and Dennis Rocuyo last night, and I thought that one was going to be nip and tuck all the way. I got really surprised when Efren ran away with it.
Well, this moment, this TV table can be such a cauldron of tension for even the most experienced players, and perhaps the moment was too much for Dennis Rocuyo, but definitely he'll be back because he's got game. And so does this fellow here on the table right now.
The rich pool of talent from the Philippines is the stuff of legend. But there are so many world beaters coming from one area of the world. Just amazing. Alcano now out to a 2-0 lead over Efren Reyes. A pretty comfortable position to be this early on. Efren's starting to look a little concerned. I'm not certain that I've ever seen these two play each other heads up before.
I'm sure they faced each other, but there Rodolfo Luat 8-4 ahead of the inexperienced Roya Pancho, and Luat apparently has booked his slot for the round of 16 and for next year. Sandor Tot ahead of a very tough Thomas Engert, and Kuopo Cheng just underway leads Marlon Manalo.
Rack 3, Alcano to break, leading 2-0.
Let's see if he sticks with this soft break that he's been employing in this tournament. There it is, the soft break, and it works. I mean, if he found a good soft break on table 2 yesterday, and it looks like he could be finding one here.
Yeah, well, when it works well, but when it goes badly, it betrays you I've seen the soft break hurt people.
Yeah, what happens, I think, often is you get congested racks, especially near the bottom of where the screen is now.
Yeah, you create problems for yourself.
That's a nice shot there by Alcano.
Well, he could wind up with a handsome lead here.
And certainly this crowd not expecting this situation here. Ronnie Alcano appears to be running out on his way to a 3-0 lead.
Well, he has really picked up the speed of this table, hasn't he? I mean, it's like he's been playing on it all his life.
Yeah. He's picked up the speed of his shooting. I just came from the Ralph Suke Yang match that was played at a very deliberate pace by both players, and compared to that match, Ronnie Alcano is just flying through these balls. Oh, he's got to stretch for this.
Well, this man has really shown his stuff here in this first 3 racks. He's not giving Efren any room at all. And right now, he's got a 3-0 lead. He's almost a third of the way home. Efren Reyes hasn't gotten out of the starting blocks yet. But it doesn't take much for this man to make a comeback. We've seen him do it so many times before. This was a beautiful little run. He never even got close to being out of line.
Ronnie Alcano needed to win his last group match by a score of 8-2 just to sneak in to the round of 64, and that's exactly what he did against Marcel Martens of the Netherlands.
Trailing 3 racks to 0.
Well, he sure made the most of it since.
Efren breaking from the other side of the table from where Ronnie is breaking. Once again, Jerry, he's not found the center of the table for the cue ball.
No, but at least this time he does have a starting shot. He's fortunate that that one ball caught the nose of the side pocket and wound up near the cue ball. It could have been all the way down at the other end.
You think he'll try to cut this in or go defensive?
Well, the problem is, can he get on the 2 ball? I mean, the shot is certainly in his bag. That ball will always go for Efren. So it's a matter of how comfortable he feels getting on the 2. There's an awfully easy series of safeties he could play. And he's taking a look at where the cue ball could come off the rail. He knows it's important right now to get control of this table and keep control of this table.
Oh, he's used the 3 to hold for position on the blue 2. And that's a little bit of Efren magic here. I mean, you know, Jerry, with these kinds of shots, he had to hit that 3 full. If it was a glancing blow, he could have really gotten into trouble. So that's an amazing bit of work there, and it looks like he's done it again here off the 4.
And we've seen him do it for so many years that we almost take it for granted when it's he at the table.
And this rack is totally opened up now for Efren.
Well, that worked out, but it sounded funny.
For 3 shots in a row, he uses other balls to get shape on the object ball.
For most players, it's a cardinal rule to never run into another ball. Whoa! Well, Efren's going to have to stop the leaking, and if he is to continue.
And 2 words for that shot, Jerry: tight pockets. Without the shims on those jaws, this 4 goes down
Every time.
That's really been one of the big stories of this World Pool Championship. These tight pockets are giving people fits.
Well, you know, for years, the great players have complained that pockets on the Pro Tours were way too loose. And they just screamed so much that finally the promoters have begun tightening them up to what we call a pro spec. And now that they have, I think some of them may be going, maybe we should not have screamed so loud.
Yeah. I think, you know, these tight pockets, it almost takes you out of your game somewhat. You can't do the shots that you would ordinarily do on a bigger pocket.
That's right. It takes away a lot of your ability to play position because you can't play to one side of the pocket or the other as well.
Yeah, it makes you, it kind of discourages you from playing with lots of spin, using so many rails. It just completely changes the game.
Well, if you were to ask Efren if he would want to spot this man 4 games in a race to 10, I have no doubt that he would turn that offer down. And yet that is exactly what he has done. Alcano now leads 4-0 in a race to 10.
Jerry Forsythe and Bob Guerrero.
You're watching the Philippines World Pool Championship 2006 live right here on ESPN. And Ronnie Alcano is sitting on a 4-0 lead here and is breaking. So if he breaks and runs out here, things could get pretty grim for Efren. And once again, the soft break. And once again, well, not once again, this time he doesn't have a shot.
Yeah, this is what I don't like about this soft break. You clutter up one end of the table, and inevitably, balls are going to get in the way of other balls. You don't leave that many paths to the pocket.
This is not a gimme of a combination here. Just made it look like one.
Yeah.
But the thing about the soft break, Jerry, is that you see that 3-9, that happens a lot with the soft break, doesn't it?
It does. It does. But, you know, if you don't have a shot on the one ball, and you wind up in a safety war with Efren, then you could wind up leaving him that 3-9 combination. So, well, I have to tell you, I am not a fan of the soft break.
Ronnie Alcano has broken and run out with it twice, and it seems like he could be lining up a 3-8 combination here. Boy, he put a lot of spin on that white ball, didn't he?
He sure did. You can hear the crowd in the background going, oh, look at this.
Is there a way to play this as a two-way shot where he leaves distance on the 3 in case he misses the 9?
Sure, he can send that white ball up table, and if he puts it at the middle of the head rail, the 7 ball may well wind up blocking Efren from a shot on the 3, depending on how the 3 leaves the 9 ball. What he doesn't want to do is leave that 9 in the jaws.
Wow. A missed 3-9 combination by Ronnie, but that was never a gimme. And Alcano is very fortunate. Look where this white has ended up. It's welded itself to that rail on the left side of the screen.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with his speed control on Whitey. Now, Efren's been sitting in the chair. Let's see if his arm has become chilled. It has. Happens to the best. You can't stay in your rhythm when you're squatting in that chair.
That's the 3rd unforced error now for Efren, and it's left a possibility here for a bank for Ronnie Alcano.
Well, he knew he'd missed that shot as soon as he took it. You saw him trying to steer the cue ball with his body, That's what he was doing earlier in the week when he was, well, looking a bit weak.
Alcano's not going for the bank. I think he didn't go for the bank because it would have left him wrong-sided on the 4.
Well, he went for a safety. He wanted to have that cue ball married to the 5-8. He did not get there. He has left Efren a full ball with which to work.
He can cut this into that right side pocket. Efren is, you know, when Efren isn't playing well, when he's not in stroke, he moves a lot. And you saw it there. He stood up on that ball.
He hasn't had a chance to get comfortable. He's fortunate the way these balls wound up.
Could there be a bank on here?
I don't know. That's awfully tight. It could be. He'd have to put a lot of left-hand spin to kill the angle of the ball, but wow.
Uh-oh. Oh, boy, that is not what he had in plan.
That really surprises me that he used that speed. You would have thought he would have hit it hard enough so that that 3 ball would have come out to the head rail.
Quiet, please.
Both men showing some nerves now. Well, this will loosen Reyes up a bit. He should be able to get on the board. Not happy. When Efren looks up in the air, that's his sign of disgust.
Can't quite imagine what exactly he'd be unhappy about, especially since he landed pretty nicely here on this 7.
There are always different plans, and he certainly came out with a shot that would work, but it wasn't his plan.
He's going to his plan B or his plan C, which is better than most players' plan A's. The Reyes train is back on track.
Now if he can keep it there. His problem at this point, Bob, is this is an alternating break format. It's not like he can string racks together. He has, however, put a mark on his side of the ledger. Trails 4-1.
And he'll be breaking.
Yeah, you can really see Efren moving on these shots. When he stops moving, the balls will start falling.
Ronnie Alcano knows that he let Efren off the hook there. He could have taken a huge 5-0 lead. Instead, Reyes breaking to make it 4-2.
Rack 6.
Now he's
Reyes
moving
break,
over to the right side,
rack
Jerry.
To 4.
Oh yeah, he's always willing to try something different, keep experimenting till he finds what works.
I've noticed that Reyes is a superb medium speed breaker. He's not one of the hardest breakers in the game, but he's an intelligent and very observant medium speed buster of the balls.
Yeah. He's got that wing ball going. He's also squirted the 1 into the side, and now he's got a, well, let's face it, a tough shot on the 2. He's going to have to bank this thing if he wants to make it.
Yeah, but it's automatic position. Well, not automatic, but pretty decent position on the 3. If he can bank this in.
Oh,
no, missed it short.
Yeah, but he played it with great speed. You see that 2 ball wound up right in the middle of the rail, exactly where you would want it to be if you missed the shot.
He missed the bank professional side. Now, let's see how good a safety player Ronnie Alcano is.
I think we both know how good a safety player Alcano is. No slouch. Certainly not a man that Reyes would ever take for granted. He knew coming in this would be a tough match. At this stage, they're all tough.
Oh, wow. No safety for Ronnie Alcano there. That was a full-blooded attempt at that bank. And Jerry, that was a interesting decision there.
It is, but you know, I like his style of play. He's, as you say, he's an extremely aggressive player. And it usually pays off for him. I mean, he'll make a mistake or two. But he has, well, his shot making is just phenomenal.
He's got a lot of arrows in his quiver, let's put it that way.
Yes, he does. Right now, he's got some problems to solve. Tough looking table.
Uh-oh. This one's showing. But
well,
he won't be too bothered because of that 3-8, I guess.
Yeah, that 3-8 is a problem that somebody's got to take on. The only, well, he's got two aggressive options on that 3 ball if he can put this 2 down.
Oh, look at that. Is this one of them? What a shot.
Wow. It is now. He had to check that cue ball with left-hand English to get the right angle to come down and bust that cluster up, and he did it beautifully, just perfect.
And imagine playing that kind of left-hand inside English with that much real estate to contend with.
And yet he has played a very sloppy shot there. He come up well short of where he had intended. He could have been all the way on the other side of the table and been in great shape. Instead, he's got this.
You never want to take these shots with these pockets and the mechanical bridge. Oh, that's just a big let off there for Ronnie Alcano.
Well, I'm afraid that's going to hurt him. He could have gone to 5-1. He's given Reyes the opportunity now to draw within 2.
Now that's a real gut check shot there by Efren. Steady his nerve and make that shot. And reports of Efren Reyes' demise in this match have been greatly exaggerated.
Oh no!
So maybe they haven't.
Reyes displaying a very rare incident there of frustration. He slams his cue to the floor.
Nice and quiet then, please.
Well, now, Alcano to take advantage.
Look at that spin. So effortless. And I think this crowd's getting a bit deflated, isn't it, Jerry?
Well, the Reyes fans are certainly worried. There are a lot of furrowed brows out there right now.
There's Ronnie Alcano for you. Why settle for 1 rail when you can go 2?
Bob, I don't know if even the great Reyes can come back from this deficit. 5-1, alternating break format. His opponent's halfway home.
Reyes has 5 unforced errors already, and not very many players can turn it around with that kind of statistic.
Yeah, Reyes is still moving on his shots, twitching his head, steering shots with his stick. He's just not looking comfortable at all. You know, we're so used to seeing him walk around the table so nonchalantly, like it's a walk in the park. This is a different man this week.
Yeah, he's fidgeting and fussing and just not settling into his rhythm.
Rack 7.
Of course, there are a lot more distractions here than when he plays in the States. A lot more demands on his time. The press has been all over him.
Yeah, I think, you know, Efren Reyes, when he goes to the States, he's mobbed in the tournaments, but once he steps
Settle
out,
down,
you know,
please.
he's just another guy. Where here, he can't go 10 feet anywhere without being, you know, accosted by just about everybody. Once again, the soft break. How's he looking on the 1?
Ooh, that's a little close to your work.
Cue ball and the 1 ball kissing cousins here. And I don't think this is potable, is it?
No. And, well, he's got a lot to hide behind. It's getting there that's the problem. If he slides off up toward the group, he's going to push the 1 ball down toward the corner pocket, so he's going to have to play a very good safety to keep Reyes from having any opportunities. He may be cutting this ball in.
Oh,
my goodness.
I think it was the spin that took that ball in.
That and the pocket speed.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. He really had to let that cue ball loose, and yet he wound up with great shape on the 2. On many tables, that ball would not have fallen. Had the tables had deep shelves,
yeah,
that would still be sitting there.
Like the tables they use in other events like the U.S. Open. Yeah. Very deep shelves.
Right.
You can see it on the television. Now, looks like he's got to draw back here. Take the orange 5 into the lower right corner pocket. Is it? No, he's following this. Well,
that's what amazes me, the imagination of these fellas. You and I both saw a draw shot there. I don't think he ever even considered a draw shot.
He cheated, and then he actually got the long pattern here. That's, in a sense, that's such a good shot because you don't need as much speed control with a shot like that.
Yeah.
You have like 5 feet of landing area there.
Yeah, because he's staying in line with the next shot. Instead of coming across the line of position, he stays right on that line. Gives you a lot more room for error.
There's a method to the madness. Alcano wants to get off this rail.
He does. He just needs to let the cue ball float forward about 3 inches past where that brown ball is now. He could go as much as 2 feet past and be in great shape.
And Alcano is not looking like he'll be missing anytime soon, Jerry. He is in dead stroke.
Wow. Alcano impressing everyone now and leading Efren Reyes 6-1. No one's been able to come back from this deficit all week long. Can Reyes? I probably would look pretty good to Efren right now. He might want to be anywhere other than in this situation. A deep, deep hole. And I think he's got him. I think he's questioning himself, Bob.
Yeah, but oh, that's a nice piece of good fortune there. That one peeking its head through the corridor between the pink 4 and the blue 2.
Yeah.
It's a strange kind of rack, though, with all those balls over on that side of the table.
It really is. They all floated down past the side pockets, and yet they grouped back together.
Efren playing this blue 2 into the side pocket. This, he desperately needs to settle down.
Keep your eyes on his body when he strokes. See, he's staying still now.
And he's shooting quick, too. That's always a good sign for Efren. His pre-shot routine, very consistent now. And he shouldn't give up because, you know, we've seen comebacks. I mean, we do the San Miguel Asian 9-ball tour that's been alternate break from the beginning, and you do see comebacks in this.
You do. We've seen very few this
Yeah.
week on this table. We've seen them around the room, but this table seems to really favor the fellow that's ahead.
You're going to see a big roar when this 9 goes down. Hear a big roar.
Well, that's 2 for Reyes. The problem is Alcano, he's got 6 on his side of the board. And it's Alcano's break. Efren is going to have to start breaking Alcano's serve. He cannot let Alcano just get up and break and run racks. And that means the fates are going to have to go into this man's corner. Alcano is going to have to wind up without shots after the break. You really can't count on this fellow to put himself in trouble. If he gets a shot on that first ball, he's liable to go all the way through.
Trading baskets is not going to work for Efren.
Rack 9, 7. Alcano to break, leading 6 racks to 2.
It's interesting what Alcano does when he places that ball. He finds a spot on the rail and then kind of pushes it towards the head string. I guess he wants to make sure he has the perfect angle.
Yeah, I've noticed that. That's a little idiosyncrasy of this man. Let's see if that soft break's going to continue working or if it's going to bite him.
There it is.
Whoa. This is the kind of opportunity that Reyes has been waiting for. Now, if he can clear this rack and then break and run the next one, he's back in his box.
This is just a bad miss-hit here by Ronnie. A smattering of applause there by the Efren Reyes faithful. Let's see if he may be tempted to take on this 4-9 combination because the closest pocket to the 4 is blocked by the 7.
Well, he may be, but also with his position ability, he can come down on this side of the 4 and play it in one of the side pockets. I think that's what he's going to do, come down below the 4. Probably play it in the same side pocket that he's getting ready to place the 3 in.
He's hitting this with bottom.
Well, he'll take it in the other side.
He's given himself a very small side pocket here. Ooh. Not small enough, but just barely.
No time to get sloppy.
And you know what? If Efren runs this rack out and breaks and run out, we've got a ball game here.
We sure will.
There's a big difference between 6-3 and 7-2.
Well, that's where we are. 6-3. Efren Reyes will be breaking. Alcano will be sitting and waiting and ruining that scratch on his last break shot. That one right there put Reyes into the ball game. Man, did he nearly miss that 4.
It's almost shocking that Alcano overdrew that break because he's been controlling the white. He's been hitting it so softly and controlling the white in all his previous breaks. He just dug into that a little bit more than he wanted to.
Great crowd here this evening, as you would expect with these two on the table.
Rack 10, raise to break, playing 3 racks to 6.
Will he have a shot on the 1? Yes, I believe he will if it does. Oh, no! The 4 ball at the last minute came up and crashed the party.
Efren, you know, his white ball off the break it's not scooting back. You know, it's kind of just either staying in that area or even rolling forward. But well, there's no obvious one-rail kick on this one.
No, I think the path he's exploring now is a 3-rail path. Or can he find a place to push?
And isn't it so hard to push when you've got the object fall near?
Oh, watch this.
He's got to get that foot down. This looks like a Mike Massey shot here. Not quite.
That was a bit surprising, and even from Reyes.
He needed to really bend that around.
Yeah, that was a very low percentage shot.
But you know, there weren't a whole lot of options on that shot. I mean, every single option that he had probably didn't please him too much.
I kind of thought, Bob, that he would push and use the 3 ball maybe to put the 1 in the pocket.
Yeah.
Send the 3 out into the middle of that rail.
Yeah.
Now there's a big pocket over there on the side because of the 8 ball.
That's his backboard.
Yeah. Watch the 9.
But even with the backboard, boy, that 8 is actually covering a bit of that pocket.
Well, it is, but if he misses it to this side, it'll come off the rail and off the egg. I don't know that I like this, because if he misses this shot, he leaves Reyes a shot on the 1.
I'm not sure he's doing it. I think he's playing safe. Ooh, he went for it and wasn't even close. But I think he's played it smart.
Well, we'll soon see if he played it smart enough. I think a truly great covering safety would have been the better option there. There's no point in trying to rush matters. Efren wanted to be behind that 3 ball. Instead, he's left Ronnie full shot at the 1. We'll get to check out his banking skills if he wishes to exhibit those.
No.
Well, it's not like Reyes isn't getting the opportunities.
That's more like it.
Yes, and the rest of the table is just textbook shooting. No need to do anything fancy with these balls, the way they're set up.
Efren is looking ominous. He's back in line, back on track. His rhythm and confidence seem to have returned. He's going to pull to within 2.
Now the balls are beginning to find the center of the pocket. He'd been flirting with the edges previously.
This is the game that we were expecting now.
Yeah, what had been a runaway has now become a much closer match. Reyes draws within 2. Our scoreline is 6-4. Alcano, with that risky soft break, could get himself in trouble here. Well, if you're Alcano, do you stick with that game plan of that soft break?
I think he's committed to it. I mean, perhaps he should try something else, but he stuck to it yesterday, and he won 10-1. So
yeah, the problem is
stick
that
to it here.
The roll seems to be going to the other man's corner. But I guess you stick with it until it bites you at least once.
Rack 11, Ronnie Alcano to break, leading 6 racks to 4.
This is a crucial break here. Break and run out will give him that 3-rack cushion. There it is again. And once again, a shot on the 1, but boy, he's on the wrong side of this 1 to go over to the blue 2, so we're going to see something special here in terms of position.
Well, he likes those 3-rail shots. He may use 4 on this one. He's got to go around the world to get back to the 2. But he's got a large area into which he can work that cue ball. Any place on the bottom right-hand side of the shot you just had on your screen will put him in the open.
There's lots of traffic, though, to avoid.
I think he's going to get there. Oh, but he's got to make the shot first.
It was just bound to happen, you know, and we're starting to think that you're right, Jerry. The luck is starting to move towards Efren's chair, because this 1 ball is laid up perfectly, and those side pockets, when you hit them at an angle, you just cannot hit them at that kind of speed and expect a good roll.
Yeah, I think Alcano's beginning to hear the footsteps of a big man coming up behind him. That'll cause you to take your eyes off the job ahead.
Yep. And Efren has loosened up this rack considerably with that shot on the 1. Looks like one of the key balls in this rack could be this one. Oh, oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I think the hill now is going to be that 5 ball, getting from the 4 to the 5 without anything getting in the way.
Oh, he's given himself quite a lot of angle here. I reckon he's going to bump into one of these balls, maybe the 8 or the 9.
Yeah, if he'd come down a little bit further, he could have played to the other side of the 5 ball into that large open area on the far right side. He's made his job a bit tougher here.
Yeah, with that white ball so close to the 3s, though, kind of hit a major hard draw.
Yeah,
You might hit the cue ball twice with your tip, and that would be a foul. But he's looking pretty good here. And just like that, Jerry, what looked like a rout has been transformed into a dogfight.
yeah, he has really tightened this thing up now. Given that he gets through this rack, he will have won the last 4 racks in a row. Why didn't he take that down into the corner and just draw back?
And take or even take that 8-9 combination?
Settle down then, please.
I thought he was going to play a stop ball and take the 8-9.
I thought he was going to draw back and take the 8 in the side or the corner, but far be it for me to question that man's thought process.
Alcano will be taking the 8 into that opposite side. And just like that, the resurgent Efren Reyes pegged back because of another shocking unforced error. That's his 6th of the match.
You don't see him making 6 unforced errors in an entire tournament.
Yeah.
Well, this man's the benefactor of these errors. He now has established another comfortable lead. 7-4, Alcano over Reyes. Well, at the Whirlpool Championship right now, we've got a bit of a surprise for the crowd in the form of Efren Reyes trailing Ronnie Alcano. And here's some of the errors that have cost Reyes so badly in this match. Things you just aren't used to seeing this man do. The crowd reacting to every single one.
Efren looked like he saw that clip there of all those shots. He's suffering.
Yeah. Hopefully there's not a monitor there for him to view.
Thank you, rack 12. Efren Reyes to break. To 4 racks to 7.
But he is breaking. Now he's going back to the left side. How's he looking on the 1? Boy. Well, the 6 is near the pocket. The 4, rather, the pink 4. But it's this combination not the easiest.
No.
I think
that's a pretty big block from that angle.
Yeah, if the 4 was maybe a little bit off the rail, be a bit easier. Take the 1 off the rail, but I don't know.
He's got an easy safety here to duck behind the 7 ball. There we go. That's the smart play. Now he's got a good shot at getting ball in hand. The 6 ball now keeps Alcano from the easiest 2-rail escape. He's going to have to figure out something else. Reyes watching, hoping for an opportunity. At this point, he has to take it 1 rack at a time and win them.
You think he wants to get that white ball in between the 2 and the 8 to hit the 1? I think that's the only corridor he could possibly get at. But, well, Jerry, you know the diamond system a little bit better than I do.
He would really have to check that ball to be able to do that. I think he's going to try and actually spin off 1 rail and masse off of this rail back to the 1. Let's see. Yeah, that's what he tried to do, and that was asking a lot because he had to hit it with speed. So the English didn't really have the opportunity to take.
Yeah, there's a bit of a silver lining here, though, for Ronnie Alcano. The 2 is now moseyed on down over to the orange 5. It's made things just a little bit more complicated.
It has, but should Reyes not want to take that on, he can again play a pretty good safe. I like him coming down to this end of the table and playing the 2 up in that corner pocket by the pink 4.
Yeah, from here it's pretty simple.
Or he may try to take it in the side just to play vengeance on that pocket for spitting the last ball.
It's going to be a small pocket, though.
Yeah.
He needs to get on the correct side of this blue, which is on the right side of the blue. And did he get to the right side? I don't think so. Now he may be forced to take it into that side pocket. You think he didn't want maybe a half a revolution more here?
Oh, of course he did. Well, he had more angle than we could see.
Yeah. That would top left-hand spin. He's back in line and back in this match.
He's still at a disadvantage even when he gets through this rack.
Alcano's breaking.
Right. Yeah, Alcano, if he'll just stay within himself and play his game, he should be okay.
You know, Jerry, this is the first year of alternate break for the knockout stages, and I think it's been pretty successful. And with the way these tables are breaking, I can't even imagine how this tournament would be with all winner breaks.
Well, of course, all the players you talk to that are big breakers don't like this format because it takes away their advantage. But for players like Reyes, it would normally work to their advantage. Reyes slowly working his way up the ladder. Trails by 2, 7-5. Should Alcano be able to hold his serve here, he'll be very, very close to finishing off the magician. And he's shown us some tricks of his own. Efren knows that he's got to have some luck on his side here to make a comeback.
Yeah, and we've already seen quite a few big names exit this tournament early. You know, Archer, Strickland, Rodney Morris, Alex Pagulayan, Yang Qingshun.
Rack 13. Ronnie Alcano to break.
Really doesn't want to join them.
7 racks to 5.
To be fair, Efren is trailing in this match because he deserves to be trailing in this match.
That's true.
He's made by far more errors.
Yeah. Alcano has had a few also, but they've been tough shots. He's, by my count, 4 unforced errors. And this is like Groundhog Day here for Ronnie Alcano.
Well, this is a great layout for a run. 2 balls into the same pocket, and this opens up very nicely for him.
Yep. And let's see if there are any other players out there watching this match who try to copy that soft break. Hey. Whoa. Ooh, that was close.
I tell you, no time to get sloppy now.
That was a nice shot there.
That was the toughest shot he'll face in this rack.
That was the sliver of a side pocket that he had to negotiate that 2-ball into.
If he gets on the 7, the rest of this one is automatic. He's there.
Both of these players so fun to watch because they're just great rhythm players. You know, they don't take long. They just go up there and shoot. And Ronnie Alcano really now closing in. This 9-ball for 8-5. It will be his 4th break and run out of the match.
Alcano within 2. If he holds his serve, he can't lose. Well, that break is sure working for him. It hasn't worked for many people this week. But he's got it really working on his side. It's been interesting, the different breaking styles we've seen this week. The soft break working so well now for Ronnie, and when we saw Wu out here, he hits it with a cannon, and that was working great for him. Different strokes for different folks.
Yes, and it's
Rack 14.
amazing that
Efren Reyes
for a
to break,
table with
trailing
such
5
small
racks to 8.
pockets, you know, that wing ball goes down quite regularly, and so does that one into the side. Efren has made a ball. It's the 3 ball. Now this is a pretty big angle here on this one into that left corner pocket.
It's the only tough shot on the table. If he gets past this one, he should clean up. He's got to break and run, or at least win all of his racks.
Oh, and hasn't played the best shot there. He overran that one by maybe about 6 inches.
You know, Efren just made that motion with his right arm that he was making all of last year when his shoulder was bothering him.
Oh, look at that. Magnificent reverse cut.
A very, very nice run here by Efren Reyes. The question is it too little, too late? And that's not a question he can answer. He's got to wait for something good to happen for him when the other man's at the table.
And this is the kind of pool that we were expecting when this match began. This will only be the second break and run out for Efren in this match. That is a real surprise.
Rare statistic.
As opposed to 4 for Ronnie Alcano.
Well, Reyes did all he could do. Broke the balls, sent them all home. But now he's got to take his seat and watch the other man play. Great shot on that 1 ball. And not a bad one there.
This old warrior not going down without a fight. But it's Ronnie Alcano to break. The break and run out puts him on the hill. It's moving on to 12:30 in the evening here, Manila time. And this crowd has seen the younger Ronnie Alcano seize the initiative for this entire match.
Rack 15, Ronnie Alcano to break, leading 8 racks to 6.
It's certainly not over yet. Would it be that Reyes were able to get to the table here and take this rack, then he would be breaking. Should he take them both, we'd be tied at 8.
Ooh.
Boy, and that was nearly the opportunity Efren wanted. I bet he was halfway out of his chair.
Yeah, but this is a very, very unusual rack. Oh, look at that cue ball.
Yeah, this is where the soft break isn't serving him because the 3 is blocked.
Yeah, in both pockets.
Yeah.
He's got to come up with a heck of a shot here to get anything on this 3. Maybe a forced follow around 2 rails or 3 rails or something. Oh, he's digging in. He had to hit that hard. Oh, and the arm is raised in apology.
Can you imagine the 2 emotions that just went through Efren? Oh, I've got a chance. Oh, no, I don't.
Yeah, but his rack is far from over. Looks like he's taking on this 3-5 combination.
It's too risky. He'll probably make it, but it's just too risky.
Unbelievable. Wow. And I can't believe this crowd didn't applaud that.
Well, this crowd has a favorite.
But I think a lot of the people who don't really play pool, they don't realize how tough those combinations are.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with the 5. That was 5 was a good couple of inches out of that pocket.
He made it look simple, but we've seen more of those missed than made this week.
Far easier ones than that.
Oh yeah.
And in the end, could it be a cruel fluke that's gonna send Reyes to the bleachers in this tournament?
Yeah, that fluke on the 1 ball looms large now as this man approaches the hill. A lot of conversation among players about whether 9 ball should be a call shot game. Were that the case, it would be Reyes at the table now.
But you know what, Jerry, I think, that 8 ball wiped its feet. I think luck is an element of every sport. If you don't like luck, maybe you can play chess. You know? That's the way I think of it.
Well, Alcano stands on top of the hill.